visionary parent with Enemy Rebel. Every Tuesday we are here learning, unlearning and relearning. The goal is to raise children who will make us proud in the future. The goal is to be parents who our children do not need to heal from. Shortly before I came here, I was on Facebook and I saw a video of the girl who was talking about her brother being psychiatrically not okay. She has done everything within her power. She's taken her brother to psychiatric hospitals, 7 psychiatric hospitals. She's even taken her brother to a deliverance ministry. And she said something. Her brother started out with drugs when he was in the university. And now her brother is a psychiatric case. And she said something repeatedly. My parents failed me. My parents failed me. My parents failed me. She kept on saying that. The goal of this channel is to become the parents that will not fail our children. Our children will not wake up tomorrow and say, my parent failed me or our parents failed us. That is it. So before we even go into today, tell yourself, I will not fail my children. Tell yourself, my children will not wake up tomorrow and say, my parents failed me. Tell yourself, I will never be the trauma. I will never be the baggage. I will never be the wounds my children will have to heal from. The truth of the matter is, no parent ever set out to fail their children. No parent ever set out to be the baggage their children would need to heal from. But every single day we see it. One thing I always say is that every parent wants their children to turn out well. I mean, that is why we correct them. That is why we do everything we do. That is why we go extra miles to make sure we provide for them, we protect them, we guide them. That is why when they misbehave, we are actually freaking out because we know that if we don't correct it now, we are stamping it. So, and at the end of the day, we still have very many people who do not turn out well. What happened? Where was the missing link? What happened along the way? So we do not want to become parents who fail our children. That is why we have this channel. That is why we have the Visionary Parents Academy. That is why we have the self-leadership programs every holiday, because we want to raise children who will not fail. I mean, if the children do not struggle, they will not come and say their parents failed them. We don't want to raise children who will wake up tomorrow and say we failed them. Please say to yourself, I will never fail my children. I will not fail my children. I will not fail my children. And it is not just by saying you will not fail your children that you will not fail your children. You have to seek knowledge, empower yourself with the right skills so that your children will not come on social media tomorrow, because the lady said, this is my last resort. I have done everything. I have done everything. I'm doing this because I do not have a choice. Coming on social media to talk about how her brother is a psychiatric patient, how she's taking her brother to several hospitals, 7 of them, taking her brother to church deliverance ministry, and how her parents failed her. She has tried her best now. She has tried her best. So we do not want our children to ever wake up and say we failed them. So we are not going to fail our children. I will not fail my children. I will not fail them. It is why I seek knowledge. It is why I parent intentionally. It is why I pray for them every single day. On Saturday was our women's convention in church, and I spoke, of course, on parenting, the parenting advantage. I was asking parents the question. I asked them that, see, what advantage are you giving your child? Let's look at it, because a couple of days prior to going to speak, I read a post on Facebook where a lady was talking about how when her mom was with her, when she was young, her mom would always say to her father, I don't have money, anything, I don't have money, anything, I don't have money. And her father would tell her mom, sometimes you have a shop, you have a business that is, you wake up every day, you show up, you go for your business, show up for your business every single day, and you don't have money, make it make sense. But the lady will always say, I don't have money, until one day robbers came to their house, and the mom quickly hid her money in a bag. So when it's thieves, not robbers, thieves. So coincidentally, someone had alerted security, and so they were already looking for them. So at that same time, as the robber was about to run away from her apartment, they noticed the bag. So they grabbed the bag, and the mom was literally dragging the bag with them. They were hitting the mom was dragging the bag with them. So the mom actually had money. She was doing business, she had money, but good day, ma. Thank you for joining. Thank you. The mom had money, but one of her favorite lines was, I don't have money, I don't have money. Guess what? When she got married, this particular lady, when she got married, that was also her favorite line. I don't have money. Whenever her husband asks her for money, maybe let's pay some bills, let's get some things done, she will find herself saying, I don't have money. I remember someone said it. She now said, of course, she learned it from her mom. So someone said in the comment section, does it mean if your mom was killed that day, you also want to, you also copy being killed from your mom? And I answered the person that, you see, that's how things work. That's how life works. If her mom was killed, she has been programmed. She has been programmed. That is it. The mom did not intend, did not plan to let that happen to her. But guess what? Happened to her. Her daughter learned that part of her, and her daughter will grow with it. What if he sabotages the daughter tomorrow? She wake up and say, oh, my mom failed me, my parent failed me. The parents did not intentionally plan to fail the daughter. But then the daughter learned that from them, and she applied into her marriage. So if her marriage failed, she was okay. It was okay for her to have said her parent failed her. One thing is, as we are growing, we are unlearning and relearning, but it is not everybody that will still unlearn. It is not everybody that will drop baggages, that will reshape themselves, that will reparent themselves. It's not everybody. So you do not know if your child is one of those that will decide to unlearn and relearn what will not serve them. So because you don't know that, you want to intentionally raise your children. I teach teenagers in church, and one of the things I tell them every Sunday is that, see, all these things I'm teaching you life success skills, practical ones. The things that have sabotaged me, the things that are sabotaging me, I am teaching you so that you are earlier informed, you are prepared now. For people in my generation, many of us were not prepared. We just what we were not prepared. No, rather we were. It's something like you get to the bridge and you cross it. That was our lifestyle. You get to every struggle, you are finding out how to cross it. But for what we are doing to you now, what we are doing for you rather, we are making sure that you understand how the bridge works. You understand the structure, the frayed side of the bridge where you will put your leg, so that when you get to the bridge, you are not confused, you are not lost, you are climbing the bridge with confidence because you have knowledge. But for us, we were not prepared to climb the bridge. We just got to the bridge, and some of us were lucky, we were able to pass. Some of us will pass the slippery side, so it took us a while to pass. Some of us were lucky, we just found ourselves on the sturdy part and we ran past. Some of us, we passed the sinking side and we sank. So for my teenagers, I always tell them, see, except you want to play local champion. If you want to play global champion, see all these things we are teaching you, life success skills, productivity skills, relationship skills, and all of that, you are still going to learn them. Then you will pay a lot to learn them. And they may even sabotage you. You are going to learn them. Except you want to play local, just in one small, confine yourself to one tiny community, then it's okay. You can grow in this nonchalance, in this not knowing better, in this archaic mindset and limited way of doing things. That is what we do intentionally as parents. We actually want to raise children who have skills. We don't want them, when the time is right, they start seeking skills. We don't want them to seek skills in the face of opportunities. We want them to be prepared, to have these skills, to have the knowledge, so that whenever opportunity meets them, they are prepared, they are capable, they are ready to go. So you want to join us in the Visionary Parent Academy. I tell you, it is very empowering. It's an empowering community where you get personalized responses, where you get to ask questions, where you meet every day, you get to interact, where we look beyond parenting and we look into you as an adult, growing yourself, because, hey, you can't give from an empty cup. If you still want to focus on parenting, if you are not growing, you will not know better how to model growth to your children, where we actually look beyond parenting and we look into personal development, personal growth, empowering yourself to be able to empower your children. So send us a message on how you can join the Visionary Parent Academy. I guarantee you that it is a very empowering community that will transform your parenting. I don't want to raise children who will wake up tomorrow and say, my parents failed me. I will not fail them. I will not fail them. Nothing will make me fail them. And that is why I do what I do, so that I will not fail them. And I know that you too don't want to wake up tomorrow and have your children on social media say, my parents failed me. Now, just imagine the girl. Definitely, people that know her, they will see that video, and her parents will see that video. You know, one of the most annoying things with very many parents, the millennial parents and all of that, They don't know how to apologize. They don't know how to admit their faults. So I can imagine the parents hearing that, oh, your daughter said you failed them, and the parents, instead of trying to make up, trying to say, okay, what can we do, what can be fixed, they coming out again to further fight the daughter, to even fail the daughter more, or fail the children more. Anyways, today we have a very interesting topic, you know, and we have a very interesting topic, and I just thought to remind you that this is the Visionary Parents with Enime Orebo. It is a parenting community where we learn to parent with knowledge, skills, and confidence. We learn to raise the children we have confidently. You know exactly what you are doing, because if you don't know what you are doing, you will just jump on everything around, and at the end of the day, you'll be sabotaging yourself and sabotaging your child. We do not want that. So today is about, the entire month has been about consistency, because we understand the power of consistency. If you want to succeed, anything you want to succeed in life, whether relationship, whether marriage, whether your career, we understand the role of consistency. We understand it. Now, unfortunately, very many people are not able to persist enough till they win. It is why we have people not really winning. So this entire month, we have been taking consistency one topic after another. We looked at different areas of our lives, not just parenting. I remember yesterday, the challenge we have was about money, how we can be consistent when it comes to our money. So how we can look around us, see how we are the holes in our purses, so that we can learn to seal them. We can be consistent when it comes to our finances. I remember talking about how we can plan, have a spreadsheet, knowing where your money goes into. It is very important, so that at the end of the day, we are not overwhelmed, because one of the reasons why we are overwhelmed as parents is actually because of money. Money. I was listening to someone the other day was talking about poverty mentality. Sometimes we just say things we did not intend to say. We say things carelessly, not because we want to plant poverty mentality in our children. No, because we are pressured. Whether we like it or not, money is very important. We are pressured. So bills are everywhere, money everywhere. Like yesterday, my son was telling me he wanted to buy a particular thing, he saved up his money to buy. Then he now got there, saw another thing he wanted to buy. Meanwhile, he was telling me to buy him another thing again entirely. So I was not telling him, are you kidding me? Excuse me. Maybe the old me, or the me years ago would have asked him questions like, do monies grow on trees or something like that. But then I just told him something, because I'm teaching him how to save. I'm teaching him how to spend, how to save, and all of that. So he saved up his money to buy what he wanted to buy. I also told him, okay, you want to buy this, is okay. But what we have to do, you also have to save up. He was telling me, because he's getting a lot of money now because he's learning a skill. So he may not, by the time he resumes school, he may not be able to get that money, because by the time he resumes school, the money will not be coming again. So I had to tell him what to do, how to go about it. He may be able to get some more money. So I did default to my program self and ask questions like, does money grow on trees? Is it everything you see you buy? You are wasteful and you don't have to buy it, or I don't have money. No, because I've skilled up myself. I have unlearned and I have relearned. So join us in the Visionary Parents Academy, so that we can raise children who will not wake up tomorrow and say we failed them. Because for me, I have no intentions of failing my children. Today, we are looking at a very interesting conversation. Like it has been consistency all through the month. Today, we are looking at another aspect of consistency. This one is what that concerns our children. And I remember sharing the Visionary Parents Academy this morning. I said, why we are doing this part is because I know that I am not the only one that can relate. Almost every parent can relate. You have that one child who is a starter, who starts things, who gets easily inspired. They go out, they see somebody doing something, and they come back and tell you, oh, mommy, I saw this particular thing going on. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. I want to do it. And you go all out and you get materials for them. And they start day 1, day 2, the dopamine is high. They are doing it. And day 3, you ask them, and They don't continue with it. They leave it halfway and they try another thing, the same thing. So I gave example with my daughter. She has done a lot of things. She has written, I'm certain she has written over 10, 15 books halfway. Sometimes she will tell me, Mommy, why I've not finished it is because I'm not writing directly into the laptop. I'm writing with my notes. So let me use the laptop. And if I open my laptop now, check, I will see more than 5 stories she has written. What was the other? The Tantrum Queen, the Little Mermaid, just different things she'll write halfway and she'll leave them. That is it. What about knitting, bead making, a lot of things? She will just learn, she will just get the basic knowledge, no competence, she'll leave it halfway. I know very many people can relate to it. Those kind of people, they are called starters. They know how to start, but when it comes to finishing, they don't have the strength. And it's not even that. There's also a set of people that are finishers. They are great at finishing. They are not great at starting. Done is a gist for another day. I remember I've shared this before. I have a friend. One day somebody told him that, you don't know how to start. That's in, you can't start but you finish perfectly. Somebody can start something and put you to manage it. You can go and manage it. But for you to sit down and start on your own is a problem. And he was telling me like it was a compliment. I told him, it is not a compliment. He simply said, you don't know how to take initiative. You don't know how to take initiative. You can't lead, but you can be led. There are people like that. Now, the truth of the matter is, you see all these things, we can say, oh, it's temperament thing. But again, if we let our children grow in them, they are going to struggle in life. I mean, if you have beautiful ideas, you keep starting, you start, you don't finish, you soon become jack of all trades, master of none. What are you an authority over? What is your area of competence, your area of expertise? People cannot know. Even adults, we see them today. They start something halfway, they stop it. They say, oh, this is the one that is trending. This is the one that will work. They stop. They start another thing. They stop. They start another thing. They stop. At the end of the day, they are everywhere. They are just busy, but they are achieving no results. Busy bee. I was listening to someone recently and he said that is action. That is motion without action. He said you can be moving, but you are not acting. So he was trying to explain what it means. Like you are moving. Let's say you have a direction you are going to. You have a destination in mind. You are moving. You are not going to your destination. You are not getting to your destination. Someone sees you moving. You are just motion without action. That is what those people are. Motion without action. You have very fantastic ideas all the time, but you are not able to sit down, harness them, marry them to have something conclusive. If you ask, I'm talking about it now, you can sit down and you realize that you have very many adults around you who actually have this struggle. Fortunately for us, very many adults, one of the things we do is, if we have been able to build network, build solid friendship, solid relationship that's maybe beyond just gossiping and gisting, we have solid partnership. One of the things we can actually do to leverage on this is, if you are a starter, that is your strength, you can actually get someone who is a finisher. You work together. Remember, starters, they have mad ideas. They have beautiful ideas. But being patient enough, being consistent enough to see that their ideas to finish is the problem they have. So they can have an idea, and as they go into it, just, the first excitement. I remember when we talked about the science of consistency, I mentioned that the brain is constantly seeking novelty, new ideas, new things. That is how the human brain is wired. Now, it now takes us, human beings, to train ourselves to be able to stay put. Because your brain will always like, oh, it is why you have a very beautiful cloth in your wardrobe that you have told yourself you wear, and you are going out tomorrow, you see another very beautiful one. Your mind you suddenly forget the one that you have imagined you in, walking down, looking like a very beautiful princess. You suddenly have forgotten that one. Then you now start imagining yourself in this new one, because our brains are constantly seeking new things, new ideas, new things, not necessarily idea, novelty. So if we don't discipline ourselves, we'll realize that our brains will just be pushing us, we'll just be hopping from one place to another, from one thing to another, and we are not going to have focus or conclusion. Now imagine children, that a child that is naturally high energy, that is naturally high energy, attention, they are not very high energy, their focus level is not so good. Now imagine that child is now also having the brain who is always seeking new things. What do you think will happen? They'll constantly jump from one activity to another. So one of the things we need to do is to deliberately teach our children, raise children who, yes, they will seek new things, but they are able to take one of those things they have sought and produce and see it to the end, so that at least there is something they are good at, something they are doing. It will save them a great deal. I mean, what if they grow up? Okay, you grow up, you are not so friendly, or you don't have someone whose vision, you don't have someone who is in your environment, immediate environment, whose vision aligns with your own, whose goals align with your own, and you are someone a starter and not a finisher. You may not get someone to readily partner with. So what is going to happen? You are going to struggle, have a lot of abandoned projects. Even adults, you are here looking at me. I'm sure if you have ever thought of writing, I'm sure you have written like 10-20 books. Okay, maybe not 10-20 books. I'm sure I've written like 2-3 books. You have abandoned halfway. There are projects you wanted to start, you are abandoned halfway. Not because the project is no longer good, as beautiful, but somehow at the end of the day, that honeymoon excitement has died down. So the reality is now setting in, and you just come with 1,000,001 excuses and you don't see it through. I'm certain you can relate with me. So let's go. Who is a starter? A starter is one of the things you need to realize is that starting is not such a disadvantage if we don't allow our children to grow in that weakness. It can be an advantage, because for a starter, their brains are constantly scanning for new things. So it simply means that they are multi-potentialists. Please let me know if there's a grammar like that. Okay, they have multi-potentials. Let me use the one I can vouch for. They have multiple potentials. That is what it means. So it simply means that they are not empty. Their brains are constantly scanning. They have multiple potentials. Now, the problem with this is that they cannot become overwhelmed. They will not know where to go, which to grab and hold on to. They'll keep experimenting. Maybe by the time they realize it have they will now have to go back and begin to say, oh, I need a mentor, I need a coach, I need someone to help me. I need clarity. I need a method that will give me clarity. I need a coach that will give me clarity, because I have 1,000,001 ideas in my head. I don't know which one to do. Because when you are doing one, they are feeling, this other one, are you sure this other one will not yield better results? Okay, I said I wasn't going to be talking too fast. I don't know why I'm still talking too fast. I'm going to break it down. So a starter is someone who is high on novelty. They are always seeking new things. They possess high initial drive, curiosity, speed when launching a new project, hobby, or goals, but lack the sustained endurance to see it through, to see it to completion. That is it. They are so excited about things, but to not see the thing through, because to see things through, you must be consistent. To see things through, like to be successful, you must be consistent. You must be able to patiently wait to see things through. You can't start halfway and stop it and you are successful. We all know that. Oh, you have an idea. I want to start making skits. I want to start making content. You are super excited about it. You get all the materials. At the end of the day, you stop halfway. And you know what? You always have an excuse. But deep down within you, you know that your excuse is not valid. That is why there's a saying that, see, even if you can lie to the whole world, don't lie to yourself. Because yourself is the worst person to lie to. So always look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. The truth. Tell yourself the truth all the time. So that will always help you reflect. When you tell yourself the truth, you are able to trust yourself better, because one of the things being a starter does is, and not a finisher, is that you are not able to trust yourself, because you have started very many projects, you did not finish it, so you are going to tell yourself, if I start this one again self, I will not finish it. The same reasons you did not finish all of that, the same reasons will quickly flash in your face at the verge of a new project, and you will not finish it. So once in a while, look at yourself in the mirror and discipline yourself. So causes, one of the causes of our children not finishing what they start is because, one, the brain is constantly seeking new things. I've talked about that. The brain is constantly seeking new things. Two is because of boredom. Now, because the brain is constantly seeking new things, when they get into something after a while, they become bored and they drop it. That thing becomes boring to them and they drop it. Repetition. There are people that cannot do something. I've heard people say, no, I can't work in an office. Lie, I can't work in an office. I can't. I have seen people say, no matter how broke I am, I cannot be a security. I cannot do security job. No matter how broke I am, I cannot do the job. Even me, I wonder, like, I always tell my husband that these people, security people, they just open the door, close it, open the door, close it. I mean, what happens to all the other ideas you have in your head? What happens to thinking about growth, thinking about promotion, thinking about impact? How are you able to blend all of that? That is why each time I see a post on Facebook that asks one question, that if your husband pays you 1 million naira every month, if your husband pays you 20 million naira every month and tells you to stay at home, would you stay at home? You will, like, it's not about the money, really. It's not about staying at home or not staying at home. What about all the ideas I have in my head? Like, make it make sense. Yesterday, I was telling my teenagers, on Sunday, I was telling my teenagers some of the things I do. And one of them said, auntie, a walking machine. I was telling them that everywhere I go, I always carry books about. My bags, if I bring my bags, as long as the bag, like, you almost cannot see me without a book. It's not possible. Except maybe I'm just leaving my house to the junction. I'm not carrying anything. If I'm carrying something, it has to be a book and a pen, because I may just get idea on the road and the next thing I want to scribble it down before I forget. And they were telling me, one of them said, auntie, you're a walking machine. We laughed about it. So when people ask questions like, if your husband pays you 20 million naira, will you still work? I want to ask, okay, you want to work. What happens to your brain? What happens to the ideas you have? What happens to the ideas you have? You went to school, you studied. What happens to the knowledge you've had over the years? What happens to your imagination? What happens to your desire, your impact? What just happens? Is it just about the money, really? So that is it. So a starter, we have beautiful ideas, different ideas, imaginations, creativity. I want to believe that the inventors we've had, they were all starters, because their brains were constantly working, imagining things, trying to get things done. A lot of them. But if they were not finishers, they would not be able to finish it. Like Thomas Edison that we read that tried over 1,000 times. If he wasn't a finisher, at some point he would have gotten tired and he wouldn't have gone ahead to finish the project. Light bulb and all of that. So we definitely need, being a starter is not a bad thing. Just get that straight. Another reason why children start and they don't finish sometimes is because they have not built resilience. They just, maybe the first obstacle, they just give up. The brain is bad enough that the brain is always seeking new things. Then again, while you are not trying to do things, your mind is already on something you just saw, and the next thing you are struggling to finish something you are doing. That also can make them not finish. Just a minute. Welcome. So, sorry, it's holiday. We all know that it's holiday. And my children just started holiday lessons, so they just got back now. Sorry about that. I had to open the door for them. Okay, that said, so I was saying it's bad enough that the human brain is always seeking new things. And then it is now worse that while your brain is seeking new things, you are now thinking, you are now experiencing obstacles. You know, you already, the children are already thinking about, this is already boring. Then they are now experiencing obstacles again. So it's just easy for them to just say, I want to give it up. Now let's look at, okay, I think I've talked about the disadvantages already. It is not just about today, it is about tomorrow. If they don't learn it now, if they want to play big, they are going to learn it. They are going to learn it. I remember about 3 years ago, I wanted to take a class on goal setting. I was charged 150,000 naira for just goal setting and follow up of about how many weeks now? I don't remember again. And it is what it is. Today, there are some classes you want to take. The other day, I saw public speaking, the class on public speaking, and I wanted to take it. It was a 2 days or 3 days class. I got there to the flyer, and the fee was 250,000 naira. You know the funny thing? It was not like a structured public speaking class. It was not like, it is not, thank you. It was not like a public speaking class that was being organized by an institution. It was just an individual, one woman, partner with her friend to host public speaking, and she was charging 250,000 naira for 2 days or 3 days. So the truth is, like I always tell my teenagers, if they do not learn these things now, they are going to need them. So when they need them, they will not go and learn it. So they may even pay so much learning them. It is one of the things we can do for them, that is teach them. When we help them, when we nurture these skills in them, they are not going to thrive. They are not going to be starting. They already have a platform to start. We are calling it the parenting advantage. You are giving your children the advantage of skills that will make them successful. The advantage of success skills. You don't wait for them to go and learn those skills on their own, but they will learn the skills now. I was telling someone before I came online, he was complaining about, I know him, he was complaining about his children. They are teenagers now. Two of them are no longer teenagers. They are young adults. Two of them are teenagers, 4, and how they are making irresponsible choices. And I told him one thing, that in your growing up, raising your children, one of the things you did that you are still doing now is that you never have empowering conversations with your children. Instead, you have very petty, useless conversations with them. Your conversations are always about how just gossip, how nobody's helping you in the family, how this person did not greet you, how this person, petty. See, I was telling him, I said, how do you expect to raise children who are big-minded when every time all you have ever discussed around them is pettiness? They think they have money, and what do they have now? They have done this, me too, I've done this. Those are the kind of conversations you keep having. Now, even your children, they are growing. You are I will talk about this in the Visionary Parents Academy tomorrow. Hopefully, I remember. You are still having this. So the thing is, if we don't intentionally train our children and raise them, teach them these things, they will need it. And when they need it, okay, let's go. I'm talking about disadvantages. I've talked about them already. Talent trap. They are jumping from one thing to another. They are not able to define what they want. Just see somebody like Vicky James. Imagine if she was not a brand, a fashion brand. Because if you look at her, you will know that Vicky James is definitely a starter. She may have worked on herself to now learn how to finish. It is why she's able to hold on to her fashion brand, because that was what launched her. According to her, she's a makeup artist. She once learned how to make up. Then fashion designer. She did not even sit down to learn fashion officially. She was just following her mom's shop, and that was how she got the idea and all of that. She sings, she acts, she cooks. You can call her multi-talented. Yes, starters are usually multi-talented, but they will not need skills to be able to figure out which of them should I stay, which should I go. And when they get that clarity, they need skills to be able to complete when they start. That is the problem. They are not able to complete. So it is why we are teaching our children. We deliberately want to nurture it in our children, the ability to finish whatever they start, so that as they are multi-talented, they can thrive in their multi-talent. Okay, career frustration in adulthood. Sometimes I remember I have one of my cousins. At some point, he said name. His surname was what was working against him, so he changed his surname to my own dad's surname. After a while, he said the surname was not doing him any good. He changed it to another, my dad's stepsister's husband's surname. He said those ones were very comfortable, so they were one of the biggest names in their place. So he changed it there. So till now, I don't know the surname he has, So I brought that up because I'm just trying to compare it to some people with multi-talents. They go from here to here. They are not able to persist. They are not able to see something through. Hold on until they see the result. They are there after a short while. It's not giving them what they want. They will forget that it is consistency that will actually give them the results they want. So they get started. After a short while, they give up and they move to another thing entirely. Being able to finish whatever we start is a game changer. Absolutely, ma. Thank you so much, ma. They will forget that they need to be able to be consistent to be able to get the results they want. So they are not able to be consistent. I was listening to someone the other day. He said Eric. I don't know if you know this guy, Eric. Is he Ruga? The guy that talks, he uses Igbo accent to talk, but he's quite polished. The guy was doing content for over 12 years before he got his big break. So I'm very sure there are very many people who started like that, and after a short while, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they will just stop. They are not getting results. So they don't realize that they need to be consistent to get the results. That is it. And we don't blame them. If they don't learn these skills now, they may not learn it when they grow. I keep saying this thing. If they don't learn it now, they may not. It's not everybody that will learn, that will wake up and realize I need to learn. The girl was saying that my parents are unapologetic about it. My parents failed me, but they are unapologetic about it because they are not ready to learn. So it is not everybody. So will your child wake up and come and learn? You don't know. So what you want to do is you want to nurture, teach all you can now. In fact, in your teaching self, you are teaching them open-mindedness. It is when you teach that when they grow up, they will realize that they need to learn. If there's anything they need to learn, they need to learn. Because you have nurtured them to be open-minded. Career frustration, moving from one career to another. Energy drain. We've seen these people. Somebody was saying that, I read a post that the guy said he wanted to start a business. His uncle gave him some money and told him, okay, pay anytime you like. I think the uncle gave him $1 million and said, pay anytime you sustain your business. He said, okay, nurture all you can. Yes. Said the uncle, thank you, ma. The uncle said, pay anytime you have the money. He said, okay. Said the business failed. So he went to his uncle again. The uncle gave him another money, I think 500,000. Said, pay whenever you like. Whenever your business succeeds. He said, okay. The business failed again. Now went to meet his uncle the third. The uncle chased him away. So there are some people, has not gone. There are some people that move from one business to another. It is not because there's a cause following them. It is not because something bad is happening to them. It's actually because they do not have the discipline to wait and nurture that business. I was telling sometime ago, she was telling me that she loves, is it food business or so? She loves food business, but the place she is, the food business is not good. It's not doing as much as she wants. So she wants to go into, she's thinking of another business, I think fabrics or so. So I asked her a simple question. I said, so when you go into fabrics and the fabrics is not going the way you want, what happens? You're probably going to maybe cement selling and it's not going the way you want. You go into this. I say, when you are passionate about something, the obstacles you face, they don't hold you back. They don't deter you. What you do is you become creative. Your passion will push you to be creative. When you are passionate about something, you are doing it. It is not working. Because of the passion you have for that thing, you may take a break, go back and learn what is not working. Rebrand, repackage, do everything you can. It will work because you are passionate. And because, of course, you are consistent. Now, it is when you are not passionate. You cannot tell me, oh, I love this business, and the first obstacle, you are giving up. You are going to ask. It is why people talk about, okay, my business is not working moving in this location. Let me move to the other location. This is why people talk about, okay, maybe I should start doing retails. I should start doing wholesales. I should learn how to do importation. I should learn how to do, because they are passionate about that business. I should learn how to do packaging. I should rather work with offices because they are passionate about that business. It is that same business, but they are changing strategy. They are looking for ways to sustain it. Consistency. So if our children don't learn to be consistent, they may have career frustration, moving from one business to another, move from one thing to another, because that consistency is not there. The financial energy, I was talking about the man. Every time you are giving money, you give up on the business. Next time you get money again, you give up on the business. Every single time you are giving money to start a business and you are giving up, or you are even making money, you make money, you give up on the business. Tomorrow you still go back, you make more money, you start another business, you give up on the business. No, consistency. So now let's move to solution. We have talked enough about advantages, meaning, and solution. Yes, so let's go. Why am I not mentioning this? One of the major things we are doing in the Visionary Parent Academy this term, this holiday, is the self-led mentorship class. I thought I would talk about it over and over again, because what we are doing is we are nurturing skills in our children ages 9 to 17. We want to empower them with skills. We do not want them to grow up and begin to seek skills. Rather, we want them to grow up already having the skills and begin to thrive. We want to lay the foundation for them to thrive. In church, after my speaking on Saturday, I stepped out and parents were coming. They had, they were blessed and they were just talking. So I kept hammering on character, and one parent told me that we are teaching, we are teaching. And she went on telling me about how she has a son. Amongst daughters, she has an only son. What she's doing for the girl, what she's doing for the boy. He's in school, in a particular school in Edo State. It's a government-owned school, but they pay. She said she registered him to get into the school over 2 million naira because accommodation. She was just telling me all the things, all the sacrifices she has been making for the boy. And she said, even now that she has told herself that once the boy graduates, if he does well, that even if it's to borrow money, even if to sell all her things, she will take the boy abroad to start his life there. Fantastic idea, good. I talked to her. We rubbed heads together, be minds together, and we talked about the things she complained about. But one of the things I kept asking myself is, because from what she was telling me, she actually more like protected her son than prepared her son. Now that the boy is in the uni, she has realized that the boy is not thoroughly prepared for life. What she has done all along is protect the boy. That is what we are talking about. I have said it here. You cannot have a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, and you have a nanny. Especially this holiday, let them go. Prepare your children. Do not protect them. Prepare them. So she just realized that her son is not really prepared, because what she has done more is protect the boy. So what we do in the Self-Led Leadership Academy is to prepare our children. Prepare them. It is why it is going to be practical. Every day they are going to have activities to do. Activities alternative to screen, activities that will help them to be. I shared a post this morning. I shared a post about my children at home making slides. Yes, they have a book they read. After reading the book, they now take their phones, they do a presentation, create a slide, a presentation. They do that. So that is one of the things your child is going to be doing in the self-led. After the class every day, they're supposed to make a presentation. Let me not give too much. So what you want to do is, so please send a message for your child to be part of this class. It is going to empower them. They are going to go back to school, not just taller, not just fatter because they've eaten all the food in the house, not just fresher because they have rested a lot. They are going to go back to school more matured mentally, more ready for the next phase they are entering. Okay, so let's go. So what do we now do to prepare our children who are starters to also start and finish? One of the first things we want to do, want to define what it means to succeed, what it means to finish, because very many of them, they don't even know. So you want to tell them. So every single time they want to start, we want to have a goal. Like my daughter, oh, I want to make bead, I want to write a story, I want to knit, I want to do this. She can start all of them. So for your child, every single time they have something up, you want to ask them, you want to talk about the goal, you want to start. Where is the goal? What do you intend to do? This is what you intend to do. Fantastic. This is the goal. How do we measure you have done it? No, I just don't want to see you busy up and down. I actually want you to have something to show at the end of the day. So I want to have that clear. I want to make beads. Fantastic. What kind of beads do you want to make? How many do you want to make? When do you want to make them? Let's have that sorted out. Goals. Let's set goals. Clear. So for every time they have an idea, they must have a vision. They must have a goal, no matter how young they are. If you realize your child is always starting and not finishing, you want to help them understand the importance of finishing. And one way to do that is for every single time they have an idea, they must have a vision, they must have a goal, they must have something that they are looking forward to, they are working towards. Now, one of the things I started telling my daughter is that you just don't have an idea and jump into it. You must sit down and plan it. You must look at the feasibility of that idea. Because when you just have an idea, you just jump into it. The way you jump into it, you will soon jump out. So you must look at the feasibility of that idea. How realistic is that idea? The attainability of that idea. We must look at that. That is the very first thing you want to do. Your child has an idea, fantastic. Before they dive into the idea, look at how feasible is this idea. What can you do? What do you mean by I want to make bead? Is it play? Is it successful bead making? Is it bracelet? Is it necklace? Is it just a single string? Is it a complicated one? Do you want to do it? That is it. You want to do it to sell, or just a hobby, or just something you can do at your leisure time? You have to have them. They need to have a definition, so that when you know where you are going, like when you know where you are going, you have a straight direction. You are not scattered everywhere. When you don't know where you are going, you are all over the place. So your child must have, no matter how insignificant it is. Remember, we are not just teaching them for today. What we are talking about is not just for today. Write a story that may never see the light of the day, story that may never be published, a story that they will look back 10 years time and they will laugh at themselves. So it's not about the story they are writing. It's not about the craft they are making. It's not about the skills. No, it's about the skills they are learning. I mean, it's not about the thing they are doing. Skills and skills. It's not about the particular thing, the project they are working on. It's about the skills they are learning. So they are learning how to start with a vision, start with the end in mind. That is it. So the first thing for us to teach our children is start with the end in mind. Where is this thing going? Haven't had that clarity. Another thing that happens is that when children have an idea, they want to pursue it immediately. They don't sit down and have a plan. Another thing we need to teach our children, sit down and have a plan. One of the things I teach my children is that if you want to buy something, you say, mommy, I like this thing. Excuse me, this thing is not dry now. Come. Let me feel it. Don't go and catch a cold though. Bye, excuse me. So one of the things I tell my children, that if you see something you want to buy, you are excited about it, don't buy it immediately. Give yourself a day, give yourself 2 days, give yourself 3 days. If your excitement is still on, you will know that, okay, it's actually maybe something you really desire to buy. So what is going to happen? The same thing. When they have an idea, mommy, I want to do this thing, fantastic. Tell them to sit down and plan it. Sit down and plan it. Because one of the things that will discourage them is this. They are doing the thing, and something else comes and takes away, something else comes and interrupts it. Maybe something important. That can easily discourage them. Maybe, mommy, I want to do this thing. You say, okay, do it. And they are doing it. They don't know the time for their chores. Like I always tell my daughter, there is time for everything. If you want to do this, you want to see to finish, you don't do it randomly. You create a specific time for it, a specific time that does not clash with your church time, a specific time that does not clash with your reading time, a specific time that does not clash with your prayer, a specific time that you know that it is free, so that when you are doing it, nothing interrupts. Because when something interrupts it, you may just be discouraged. You put it down. Tomorrow you pick it up again. Something else interrupts it. Next tomorrow you pick it up again. Something else interrupts it. You may just tell yourself, maybe I was not meant to do this after all. Or you just give yourself one excuse and you drop it. So they must learn one to know exactly where they are going to must have a plan. Okay, what is my structure? I go to school, I come back, before bedtime I do this. Maybe I'll just do 2 a day because I want to finish it by the end of the month. We teach them all of that. What obstacles am I going to face along the way? You identify all of that. Have them set that goal that will help them stay on course. We've talked about finish. They should have the end in mind. I've talked about having them not jump into it immediately. They must always have plans. They must. And when we are talking about having plans, now I think I've shared this in the Visionary Parents Academy. One of the reasons we struggle to finish is when we talk about having plans, when we are talking about setting goals, we are going to look at, we don't set goals on emptiness. We are going to look at all the things that will make it possible, the obstacles we face, we see that we may face. All of them are going to be there. You can't set your goals. You can't make your plans based on me, because you can dictate yourself what you will do, but you cannot. You don't know what. If you can't make your plans banking on my availability, on my presence, on my help. So you can't set a goal and say, oh, I am going to do this. Mommy is going to, okay, I want to make bead. So this is part of bead I want to make. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish it in a month. And you know that you are not going to buy the materials. I'm the one going to buy the materials. What if it's in another 1 month, I'm not going to buy the materials? So it simply means that you will not be able to achieve that goals. So we must teach them all those things. Look at the obstacles, look at the possibilities, look at how realistic it is. We put it down. Again, I said, as much as we do not want to kill their zeal, their ideas, we don't want to kill it. We also want to realize that we are building skills they will use for tomorrow, not just today. Because if they keep being excited, they stop when their dopamine drops and they drop the idea, they are going to grow up with that. So when they start something, the excitement goes down. What are they going to do? When they are now adults, they are now on their own. They are picking up projects, they are picking up relationships, they are picking up careers. You know, there is something they say in a shack. Now the first time in the shack, what if that sharpness is it sharpness? What if that first sharpness wears off? What are they going to do? That is what we are teaching them, so that sharpness will not wear off. Sharpness, okay, manage it please. So that sharpness will not wear off. They'll be able to see their project through. That is it. So I've talked about that. Okay, another thing we need to look at is, when are they allowed to give up that thing? When? Because we all also agree that there are times that you are doing something, realize that there is no future in this thing. There is no future. So you want to just exit. So at what point do they realize there's no future? I don't have to waste my energy. I don't have to keep investing because there's no future. So we need to also teach them that thing. You don't give up because of this. You don't give up because of this. You don't give up because of this. So this is the only reason you give up. And lastly, we teach our children is for them to build an idea vault. I have a book, my idea book. In fact, all my books are idea books. If I bring them out, I have 4 of them. Now, if I bring them out, you'll see that every single thing I just scribble. Sometimes my spellings are not even correct, because it's not just about the spelling. I just scribble something. Sometimes the handwriting is all over the place. I just have an idea. Maybe I'm in church and The pastor just said something. Something just makes sense to me in a different direction. I just quickly, because I don't want to be distracted, I don't want to miss out on the bigger message, I just quickly scribble it down. I have them. So you teach them. Your children should have an idea book. Idea book. Now, the truth is, like for my children, they don't have idea books. Even though I've been telling them for the longest time ever, they are not able to connect with it yet. So it doesn't matter. So what matters is you keep teaching them. A day will come, they will wake up on their own and they will realize, I need this thing though. They will start, they will have it. They will create it. They will get their own and they will start putting it down. But most importantly, our children must learn how to start and finish. They must learn that they don't abandon projects. Because if the great men we read about in history, if they abandon projects, they will not finish. Obstacles will come. But you see, starting and finishing is not negotiable. So, like I said one of the first things we want to teach them is how to always start with the end in mind. Even if it's just a hobby, even if it's just a play, tell them that it is important for you to have the goal, for you to have a goal post. I mean, people play football every day. Even children gather to play football. Don't they still score? They still score. They still score. Even when they say, oh, we are just playing, no, it's just a friendly match, they still score. There's something called friendly match and they still score. So let them have a goal. For every time you have an idea, oh, I want to start something, what is the goal? Have the goal. Write it down. And then you sit down and plan. You must plan, because if you don't plan, there's a saying that if you don't plan, you will fail. If you fail to plan, that means you have planned to fail. So you must plan. Let them plan. Break it down. Their plan. Like I always say, if they must do something, they must know the time, place to do it. Because if that thing they are doing clash into the major thing they have to do for the day, they will end up not. What will you celebrate? They will end up not being able to. They will end up not succeeding. Let's say, for example, I've given an example already. Your child says, okay, I want to write a story. And they just bring out their note and they start writing. You are not going to say because they are writing the story, they are not going to do their chores. It's time to cook, they are not going to cook. It's time to pray, they are not going to pray. And the more you interrupt it, the more things interrupt it. The more things interrupt it. The more things interrupt it, the more they are going to get discouraged. The more they are going to get discouraged. So what are you going to do? The more things interrupt it, the more things interrupt it, the more they are going to get discouraged and they'll end up abandoning that project halfway. Whew. Thank you so much for joining today. Remember, the self-leadership class registration is ongoing. We are starting on Monday. So if you haven't registered your child, please register your child. I tell you that it is going to be very empowering for your child. Your child is going to learn, they are going to unlearn, they are going to learn a great deal. They are going to spend their holiday productively. It is not just going to be sit and interact. No, we are going to take it beyond Zoom class to their physical space at home. All through the month, they are going to have a project they are going to commit to daily, every day. Now, it depends on how fast they are. Some children can have more than one project. Some can have two, some can have three. And the projects, they are just regular projects. You can get things around the house or get a few things in the bookshop or supermarket near you for them to use. The idea of the project is to give them, personally, I don't want my children to go back to school. I want them to go back to school confident, more confident. Because as they go back to school, they are entering another phase. Some are going from primary school to secondary school. Some are going from secondary school, junior class to senior class. Some are moving from JSS1 to JSS2. It is a different phase entirely they are moving into. So we want them to be empowered with confidence to navigate the phase they move into. Some are even going to the university. We want them to be confident to navigate whichever phase they are moving into. So please send a message on how you can register your child. It is 15,000 naira for now. If you see this video, you can send a message at 15,000 naira. They are going to have 12 sessions, over 6 coaches. They are going to learn about emotional intelligence, about the first topic they are going to have. I'll be taking it. I'll be telling them about their brains. You have a brain. You have a brain. I saw a video here. I saw a post yesterday where someone said that Gege's manager, you know Gege, the boy, man who kept talking about don't give girls money, don't give girls money, and all of that. Marriage, don't marry is marriage is something, something, something. They said the manager said he wrote that Gege asked him to leave his wife, and now Gege has gone to marry. So because of that, he was angry and he quit. Like, make it make sense. So make it make sense. Make it make sense. Somebody told you to leave your wife. Maybe you don't have issues with your wife. The truth of the matter is, like I was saying that a lot of these people, a lot of this generation, they are empty upstairs. Because someone was telling me that, asking me, why is it that these people, they are just quick to follow trends, to just believe people online, even when the evidence is clear, they are still just zuzooing. Like he said, I told him that, said the truth of the matter is, very many people, they are empty. They are like empty drums. I know when a drum is empty, so it's open to retain things. That is the truth. Many of these people, they are empty. So because they are empty, anything can easily enter and they will hold it. We don't want to have our children empty. We want our children to be able to think on their toes. That is why we are starting with, you have a brain. Want to challenge their thinking. Want to challenge them to use their brain more. So if you have not registered your child, send a message and register your child. Thank you for joining today. And if you are not with us in the Visionary Parent Academy, you are missing a great deal. You want to ask how you can join, and you want to be part of our vibrant and highly transformational community. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.